Hey, I'm Scott Kennedy, resident of Atlanta for a long time, and Atlanta United is coming off by any measure a terrific 2018 season. One of the themes I kept hearing nationally was people were shocked how successful Atlanta United was, and that it couldn't be done in the South, and that this was a mistake to put the franchise here. That's obviously been proven wrong. But I want to give you 3 reasons why, if people had done their homework, they would have realized that this had every chance in the world to excel like they did. First, participation. Soccer as a participation sport in the metro Atlanta area has been huge for decades. Not just years, decades. I grew up playing soccer in this town in the 1980s, and we'd go all the way to the south side to Fayetteville, we'd go east over to Rockdale, and then in North Metro Atlanta area was huge. So now all of us that have grew up playing, now we've all grown up and we have kids, we go to games. It's only gotten bigger. There are dozens and dozens of clubs now that have thousands of people in it, and this is on the academy level. I know if you look at a club like UFA Forsyth, they've got 6 teams at the U9 level for just boys. They've got about as many for girls. If you look at Top Hat, they're one of the most nationally recognized names in girls soccer. Concord, Inter, GSA. These are all humongous clubs, and that's just in the area. Alfreda Ambush, who sent George Bello to Atlanta United. Roswell Santos. Again, I could go on and on and on with all the different choices that are around for participation here. So from a soccer interest perspective in Metro Atlanta, it's always been huge. Number 2, this is a bad sports town. Atlanta's not a bad sports town. Atlanta's had bad sports franchises. If you look at the Atlanta Falcons, lifelong Atlanta Falcons fan here, if you look at the Atlanta Falcons, it wasn't until Arthur Blank bought the Falcons that they even had back-to-back winning seasons. They set a record for futility, for not having back-to-back winning years. It's tough to be a diehard Falcons fan when they can't consistently put a team out there, but it's not just the winning. When they were owned by the Smith family, they never seemed to care. So it was hard to be a good franchise with rabid fans when the ownership isn't putting forth the effort in order to improve the product that is being placed on the field. Atlanta Hawks wasn't until just a few years ago that the Hawks had even made a championship series. They were a decent team in the 80s. They were pretty good in the 90s, and they became the worst team ever in the 2000s. You look at the Atlanta Braves. Good success around the Atlanta Braves. They started their run in 1991, went on for years and years and years. They won 1 championship, but they've gotten good backing. But before that, they were terrible. This wasn't a bad sports town. Everybody that's here is a sports fan, whether they're coming in from different areas or not. They're sports fans. A lot of it's around college because the pro teams here were so bad, and there's nobody close. Atlanta Braves owned the South for a long time. The closest team to us, to the Atlanta Braves, was the Cincinnati Reds. So Atlanta's always been a great sports town. They just never had great sports franchises. That's not our fault. Number 3, and this one is as important as the other 2, is the value. When we talked about the Atlanta Thrashers and how they failed at hockey, that was doomed from the get-go. When I was in college in the 90s, we had an IHL team here called the Atlanta Knights that played out of the old Omni. They charged $10 seats, and they were sold out constantly. The NHL, on the other hand, has all the big salary players, but doesn't have the big money TV contracts, so they have the highest priced ticket in all of the major sports. That wasn't going to fly here. The most expensive ticket for a mediocre team that's trying to build, the Atlanta sports fan will not put up with being gouged. Let's look at the Atlanta United. I'm a 2-year season ticket holder for Atlanta United. My season tickets for 20 or so games cost $900 each, so $1,800 for those games. My same tickets in the same stadium for the Atlanta Falcons with the personal seat license would have been $15,000. $1,800, $15,000. Guess which team I have season tickets to. So they have done a great job of building from the ground up, of investing. Arthur Blank did it with the Falcons. He's done it with Atlanta United, of investing in the team, going out and putting a product on the field that we can be proud of, and we trust that the ownership is going to go out there and put forth a product. Do they always have to win? No. I'm an Atlanta sports fan. Of course they don't always have to win, but they have to at least put forth the effort. They've done it from the very start. A championship was just gravy. So what's going to happen now? Things are going to change a lot. What's going to happen when Atlanta United struggles a little bit? We don't care. we care, obviously, but it's okay with us if they have their ups and downs. And what happens when some of the players move on? This is a very educated soccer community. My group of that I used to play soccer with in my 20s, we bought a block of 40 tickets. We all are fans of other teams, whether it be Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona. We're all fans of other teams. We understand that this isn't the top league in the world. That's okay. But you know what? Neither is college football. And it doesn't stop us from putting 100,000 people in the stands to root on our heroes before they move on to the next league. That's okay with us, as long as, again, the ownership is going to show the willingness to then rebuild, which they are. So next year, don't expect a drop off in fan appreciation from Atlanta United. And as long as they're providing value and don't get greedy by gouging the Atlanta United sports fan and keep putting forth that effort to try and bring in players, to bring in top-level coaches and provide value for our dollar, Atlanta United is going to remain a commercial success like it was always going to be under these conditions.